Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Montreal, Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. I know the off-season is always a time filled with rumors, speculation, and a lot of excitement, but this particular story has been gaining momentum in hockey circles over the past few days, and it's one that could have serious implications for the Canadiens in the coming months. We're talking about a potential blockbuster trade involving none other than Jared McCann, the talented center from the Seattle Kraken, and how Montreal might be right in the middle of it all. And believe me, this isn't just idle chatter. There's real substance behind these rumors, and it's worth paying close attention if you're a fan of the Canadiens, because what's happening here could reshape the team's future. Let's start by taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. The Montreal Canadiens, as we all know, have been in a bit of a rebuilding phase over the last couple of seasons. They've been stockpiling young talent, trying to build a core that can compete at the highest level again, and they've been trying to find that perfect piece that can elevate the team to playoff contention. One of the key areas they've been focused on is improving their center depth. We saw last season that while players like Nick Suzuki have been exceptional, Montreal needs more offensive punch and consistency down the middle. The team has been linked to various options, but a name that's been coming up a lot lately is Jared McCann. Why? Because McCann isn't just another center. He's a proven scorer, a player who can drive play, and a guy who can produce at a high level under pressure. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have the Seattle Kraken, a franchise that's been on the rise since their debut in 2021. They've built a solid team, and their roster is stacked with young talent and veterans alike. But one thing that's become clear over the past season is that Seattle has a surplus of centers. They've got Jared McCann, of course, who's been a key part of their offense, but they also have Shane Wright, their highly touted prospect, and a few other players who are capable of filling that role. The Kraken, despite their impressive season, are in a position where they might consider moving some assets to strengthen other areas or acquire draft picks, especially if they feel they can replace McCann or add a different type of player that better fits their long-term plan. Here's where things get interesting. According to sources like Ilya Zadame and reports circulating from Hockey Insiders, the Kraken are actively exploring trade options involving Jared McCann. And one of the teams that's been linked most closely to him, that's right, Montreal. Now, this isn't just speculation. Reputable voices like Chris Johnston and the Fourth Period have all but confirmed that Seattle is open to offers for McCann, and the Canadiens are right there, ready to pounce if the right deal comes along. So what exactly is on the table? Well, the rumors suggest that Montreal could potentially offer a package that might include players like Mike Matheson, Owen Beck, and a third-round pick. Now, if you're a Canadiens fan, you might be thinking, wait, Matheson, Owen Beck, that's a pretty significant package, and you'd be right. But the thing is, Jared McCann is a 29-year-old player who's coming off back-to-back seasons with 61 and 62 points, and last year he exploded for 40 goals in 79 games. That kind of offensive production is exactly what Montreal needs to complement Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, especially if they're serious about pushing for a playoff spot next season. And let's not forget McCann's size, standing 6'1" and weighing around 191 pounds. Combined with his versatility and scoring ability, makes him a perfect fit for the Canadiens' style of play. He's a player who can thrive on both special teams and even strength, and his experience in different roles could help Montreal deepen their offensive options. Imagine a line with Suzuki, Caulfield, and McCann. Those three could cause nightmares for opposing defenses. But the question is, why would Seattle be willing to trade such a valuable player? Well, the Kraken have some depth in the middle, and with prospects like Shane Wright developing rapidly, they might see an opportunity to cash in now while McCann's value is at its peak. Also, they could be looking to add other pieces that better fit their future plans, whether that's defensemen or draft capital to continue building a competitive roster. Now, what about the Canadiens' standpoint? Well, it's clear they're willing to explore bold moves to accelerate their rebuild. Bringing in a proven scorer like McCann could be a huge boost, especially when it comes to adding secondary scoring and creating more offensive depth. Plus, the Canadiens have some cap space to work with, which makes executing such a deal more feasible. They've been active in the trade market recently, showing a willingness to make moves that can pay off immediately or set the stage for the future. And let's talk about the bigger picture here. This potential trade isn't happening in a vacuum. It's part of a broader shift in the Atlantic Division, where teams like the Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Toronto Maple Leafs are all making moves to strengthen their rosters. The Canadiens, by acquiring someone like McCann, could be taking a significant step forward, signaling their intent to contend sooner rather than later. It's about building a team that can not only make the playoffs, but also go deep and compete for a Stanley Cup. The importance of this move, if it happens, goes beyond just adding a player. It's a statement. It says Montreal is serious about winning, about competing with the best in the league, and about making a splash in the offseason. Jared McCann's addition could change the dynamic of the team, giving them that extra offensive punch that could make a real difference in tight games, especially in the playoffs. His experience, his scoring ability, and his age all make him an attractive target for a team like Montreal, which is eager to turn the page and put together a core that can contend for years. Of course, we need to keep in mind that nothing is set in stone yet. Trades of this magnitude involve negotiations, and there will be details to work out. Salary cap considerations, future prospects, and draft picks all come into play. But the fact that the Kraken are open to moving McCann, and that Montreal is showing genuine interest, means we could see an announcement sooner rather than later. Fans, this is exactly the kind of off-season story that keeps us glued to our screens and keeps the excitement alive as we await what could be a game-changing move. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's also look at the bigger picture regarding the Canadiens' roster. For instance, Montreal's management has been very strategic about how they're shaping the team. They're not just trying to add talent, they're trying to find players who fit their system, their culture, and their long-term vision. If a trade for McCann materializes, it's a clear indication that they're willing to make bold moves to accelerate their timeline. It's about creating a team that can compete not just in the regular season, but in the postseason. And speaking of the team's recent history, Montreal has been through a lot of ups and downs. They've had moments of brilliance, like their deep runs in the playoffs a few seasons ago, but they've also faced challenges, especially in maintaining consistency and scoring depth. The addition of a player like McCann could be the missing piece to help them overcome those hurdles and finally get back into serious Stanley Cup contention. Remember, McCann's scoring prowess and experience in high-pressure situations could be exactly what the Canadiens need to push past the first round and beyond. But it's not just about adding a star. It's also about the message it sends to the rest of the league and to the players within Montreal's organization. It's about showing that the Canadiens are serious about their future, that they're willing to make the right moves, and that they're committed to building a team that can compete at the highest level once again. That kind of confidence and boldness can be infectious, energizing the fan base and reinvigorating the locker room. Now, let's also consider some of the other factors at play. The offseason is a dynamic time, with teams making moves not just for immediate needs, but also with an eye toward future flexibility. The Canadiens, for example, have some cap space and draft capital to work with, which gives them leverage in negotiations. They could also explore other avenues, perhaps a different center or even a package deal involving other players, to maximize their chances of landing McCann or another target. And of course, we can't forget about the fans. We all want to see our team make smart moves, and rumors like this only heighten the anticipation. Imagine the excitement in Montreal if they pull off a trade for someone like McCann. Imagine the roar of the Bell Center, the hope that this could be the move that finally propels them back into Stanley Cup contention. That's what makes off-season rumors so fascinating. They're not just about numbers and contracts, but about dreams, ambitions, and the desire to see our team succeed. So as we keep an eye on this story unfolding, I want to remind you all to stay tuned. The trade deadline or even the early days of free agency could bring some surprises, and Montreal could be right in the thick of it. Whether this trade for Jared McCann materializes or not, one thing is certain. This offseason has the potential to be one of the most exciting in recent Canadiens history. The team is clearly looking to make a statement, and as fans, we should be ready for whatever comes next. Keep your fingers crossed, stay engaged, and let's hope that this story ends with a bang, bringing a new star to Montreal and putting the Canadiens back on the path to greatness. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you think Jared McCann could be the game-changer Montreal needs? Or do you believe the team should hold out for a different type of player or a different strategy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Canadiens as well. We love engaging with you, hearing your insights, and sharing this passion for hockey. Remember, this is a team built by its fans, and your voice is what makes this community special. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting the Montreal Canadiens through thick and thin. The offseason is just heating up, and with stories like this unfolding, we're in for an exciting ride ahead. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Habs.